What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there. Also, they asked me to put it up. I put it up. This video, though, is entitled Child Abuse is on the Rise. So I'm at work today, and I happen to see a paper, and I see this article about child abuse rising since 2013, and I figured I need to talk about this. It's a lot of things going on, probably economically, and a lot of things going on with people covering their tracks. Because I've talked about stuff like this before. When it came to, like, you notice, like, I saw an article about indigenous girls in Canada going missing, and that's the same, and it mirrors the little black girls in America who go missing and don't nobody say nothing. So this part of the child abuse things on the rise, and the economy breaking down, and people having issues like that. And sometimes when financial issues arise, people look for somebody to take their frustrations out on, and who's the most helpless in this situation are children. So there's also it also talked a little bit about the increase in hiring for child protective services because of the rising cases. So mind you, if the cases rise, that means the things that are unreported are rising too, or technology is exposing much more than was out there previously. So I'm going to attack this from a lot of different angles. First, this financial angle. You know, it's been a tough time for a lot of people for a good amount of time. And I remember being a kid and my parents being frustrated with life and getting off of work and just laying in the meeting. Like, you know, I could take it, right? So, and I thought about that when I saw that article, like how many kids are, you know, really not bad kids, but they're getting overly disciplined and really abused because their parents need a whipping boy. You know what I'm saying? You know, your job is on you, too tough, or the bills are tight. And this is where, you know, economics come in. When you're in a married household, I think it's probably less of a problem because you got two people who can, you know, stop a person when they get doing too much. But if it's just a single household, then there's nobody to tell you to stop for the most part. So I think it's a problem. So you can go too far, right? Before you catch that, to a degree, this is why you know, when you can financially, make sure you're up to speed with child support, because it can be, that money could be an excuse to go ham on a kid. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The other thing about that is this. That also, how can I say this? It also, you know, you need to be around, if you're in the same area, you know, see them as much as possible to make sure what's going on is going on. Part of this is the step-parent thing where, you know, step-parents or boyfriends or girlfriends get away with murder because they kind of get covered. So you got to be careful about that, right? And people, they don't think about that part. And for me, it's like, that's something you got to think about. That's really something you got to think about, because what ends up happening is those cases don't get reported because if it's a custody situation, that could actually turn the tide. So that's a whole nother story. But another thing, you got people who probably have gotten away with a lot, so they just think it's par for the course to push the envelope and do more. Has nothing to do with, you know, finances or discipline or over discipline or using a kid as a crutch or a pawn in a game. It's more so, you know, they know they can get away with it, so they do it to the point where maybe somebody like at a school or something steps in. You get what I'm saying? So it escalates. You know, when kids go places and they can't sit down and they can't lean back and like, what's wrong? They don't want to be touched, and it's not like they don't want to be touched in a way like, you know, like you creeping me out. It's like it hurts if you touch me. You know what I'm saying? Then your kids wind up bruised and all that other stuff because you know it's happening. You know it's happening. I talked about this a long time ago when, because I would always get upset in the summertime because there would always be stories of kids who were left in hot cars, and people keep doing it every summer, and I don't think it's an accident because it can't keep happening and people just act like they don't know what's going on. I don't believe that. So that's another thing. You know, they had the videos about the people who were too young to have kids, and they spazzed out and beat and abused the children because they didn't know how to parent properly. And technology exposed that a lot, and people calling and leaving messages and sending pictures and videos of what they're doing to their own kids. Excuse me. Now, some people might feel like that's a cry for help, but that's just abuse, though. You know, you could get a kid up, but you choose to keep the kid and abuse the kid and show everybody else you're doing that. That's not what's up, right? Whole nother story. Because if you notice the cases of the things that are shown on the internet, to a degree, they only show stuff when it's shocking. Like, oh my God, can you believe this? It's like, yeah, I could believe it. Like, have you not been paying attention over the last 10 years? You know, people are you know, they're having all kinds of sex rings and remember they had the girl who sold her kid to a pedophile. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on that's ridiculous, right? So this is a problem. It's a big problem, because if it's rising, and it's been rising since 2013, at least in the area that I'm in, and I'm in a decent place, and if it's rising where I'm at, I can imagine places that aren't as decent, you know. And then couple that with the fact that probably less people care, you know, because truth be told, nobody cares about kids if their parents are poor. So there's a whole nother story. And for me, this is troubling, because this is something that a lot of people probably don't want to deal with. And one of the major reasons people can't deal with it or don't want to deal with it is because, to a degree, this is a family issue. And how many times have we seen family cover up stuff like this? Whether it's physical, mental, sexual abuse, too many families stick together and don't do what they're supposed to do. So if the rise is being tracked And now, and we saying, you know, all these kids are bad, this, that, and the third, but nobody's asking a question. How these kids are actually being treated at home. And what this tells me is they're not being treated too well. So just take that into consideration. We out. Peace.